Welcome to our annual New Year's special from Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell, and joining me in the studio today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar, principal second violin, and artistic administrator, Merwin Sue, and we have a very special guest. I have a fanfare for you. Wait for it. That is the Artistic Operations Manager at the Toledo Alliance for the Performing Arts, Natalie Conklin. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
I have to say that was, you have the longest title of anybody, I think.
And the longest fanfare.
Yeah, the longest
with a
fanfare.
fanfare like that, I feel like I wore the wrong outfit to the studio today.
Well, it is our New Year's special, so we're celebrating today the passage of another year. You know, I was listening to last year's New Year's special, and it was interesting. We might have a few things that pop up during the course of this episode, but I want to talk about the previous year and also what we have to look forward to. This is also the birthday, I should say New Year's Eve is the birthday of our friend, composer Jennifer Higdon, right?
Wow,
she was born
wonderful.
on the 31st. Also, Anthony Hopkins, who is sort of a composer, right?
Right. He wrote a waltz, I think.
Yeah. I did a little research for this episode, and today is also the date, or I should say New Year's Eve, it's also the date that Guinness Beer was born. Back in 1759, and the light bulb in 1879. So those are two important things.
That's a stout bit of research there.
That's illuminating.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
Ah, we're starting
Here we
already.
Are. It's also the last day of the year.
It is, indeed. Last day of which year?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Every year.
Well, let's talk about 2022, right? And it's now passing into the dustbin of history. What were the highlights for you of 2022? And not just like your on-stage highlights, but your off-stage highlights. What did you do or accomplish, or what happened to you that was great this year? And it can be, symphony related, because that's what we're here for in the first place. But let's start with you, Merwin. What do you say?
Well, I got to introduce Matthias, my youngest son, to the Pacific Ocean. That was a wonderful thing. That's something that I'm always going to remember. I actually got the chance to play a favorite piece of mine, Ernest Chausson's poem with the Perrysburg Symphony. That was a kind of a nice little highlight. My mother was able to be there. That meant a lot. And then last and probably least, I was able to give David Foster, the Canadian music producer, a ride in my Toyota Camry. It was a very surreal moment, and his music was kind of the soundtrack of all of these high school dances. There was something just very weirdly kind of nostalgic, even though I had never met him.
It kind of reminds me of that scene in the movie Yes, Giorgio, where Luciano Pavarotti gets in a carload of nuns, and they say they don't believe that he's a singer. Am I making this up?
I think
everybody's shaking their head.
Don't
you remember this?
I think I had this dream.
No, seriously. He was like in a car full of nuns, and they kept saying, "Oh, I don't believe that's you," and he was singing, right?
A car full of nuns. Isn't that the band you're going to see?
Yes, a car full of nuns.
What is the combined noun for a car full of nuns?
A catechism.
Catechism. Very nice.
Well
you get an applause for that. And applause also for your looking back on 2022. Zach, what are the highlights of your year been so far? I mean, we don't have much time left in the year, but what have been the things you look back on fondly over this past year?
Well, I got these two beautiful girls, and they have just, become their own personalities this year. And it's been a great week for family, great year for family. But one daughter discovered Harry Potter, the other discovered how funny dad jokes are. So
she had a little help, I assume.
Well, she legitimately likes them, and then she tries to tell them back to me, but they aren't nearly as funny. But it's been a great year.
All right. Natalie, what's been going on with you over the past year? We saw you here on SymphonyLAB. When was it? It was for Joan Ellison when she came
March.
in. Yeah, it was in last March. So you've had all those months in which to accumulate some experience. Maybe tell us what the highlights were.
So I started with TAPA this year. I started in January. I started as an intern and quickly moved over to working in marketing, and that has been a great experience. And then from marketing, I moved over to my artistic operations position, which has been very exciting for me. My long-term goals, I want to work in artist management, so this is a great step moving that way. So I've got to meet lots of really awesome people. I've met, again, David Foster and his wife, Catherine McPhee. I've got to meet Lettucey and Awadodge Pratt, who's a great pianist. So it's been busy. It's been exciting.
I noticed you didn't say any of the people in this room that you met.
My favorite people to work with.
You were asking for highlights, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's all good.
Okay, highlights.
So yeah, my year has been busy. I got to go see Dead and Company quite a few times, and Stevie Nicks, and
a car full of nuns.
Car full of nuns, yeah. And I got to pick up my horn for the first time in over a year this year. So
that's right. You're a horn player.
Yeah,
Tell us about your horn. Here, I've got some music for you. You can tell us about your horn.
Ooh, I like this.
This is by David Foster.
Do you think that they could add the euphonium into this anywhere?
It's entirely possible.
So I play the euphonium, which is not an instrument that is in the orchestra, with the exception of a few pieces, wholes, planets.
I thought you were going to say I play the euphonium, which is not a tuba.
It's a tenor tuba.
It's related to the tuba,
yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, they are related.
Kind of like saxophones come in different shapes and sizes, right?
Yeah.
The tuba does the same.
Yeah, the euphonium I would describe as it sounds very similar to the trombone, but it has a much more beautiful tone to it.
Yeah. Does your euphonium have a name?
It doesn't. No.
If it had a name, what would it be? Let's name Natalie's euphonium right now.
Phony.
Yeah,
no,
phony.
Flip.
Flip?
Yeah.
Flip the euphonium.
There we go.
That's like a trick that you do in marching band. You hold it and you flip it upside down, flip it around, do a 360.
Was Gus Mancuso a euphonium player?
That name does not sound familiar.
Right.
You know who is a euphonium player, or used
Natalie.
to be? Besides Natalie.
I have been paying attention.
Yes. Besides Natalie, the pianist Leif Ove Ansnes started out playing the euphonium.
Wow.
Before he became a pianist, yeah.
So we obviously need to hire him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is he gonna, I want him
all
to
of
play
the great
both at the same
euphonium
time.
concerti.
That's what I'm waiting to see.
I should say concerto.
And do a
if I only
360
won.
while you're at it.
Yeah,
Do the rotate or the flip, right? Flip euphonium.
It would just be the most casual guest artist pickup. I'm sorry, let me move my euphonium from the passenger seat, you would say. And the greatest conversation would ensue.
Yeah, totally. And, the euphonium.
No, I bet you would have something like, "Are you putting me on?" No, I play the euphonium. What are you talking about?
This is as close as I can get to a euphonium.
They can reach those notes.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I did it. I planned it that way. As most things are planned, right? So what are you looking forward to in this next year?
Well, can I just stop for a second? I mean,
okay. See you next week.
It ain't my show, I know. But I just want to say, Natalie, I cannot believe it's been a year.
It's crazy. It feels like a second.
You have made yourself so indispensable so fast. And it's just a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love tapping. Thank
you. Totally. So now, what are we looking forward to in 2023? What are the highlights that you expect are going to happen over this next year? And I have some music for you. Go for it, Zach.
Well, in May, we have this little performance with Yo-Yo Ma I'm a little excited about.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice moment for the community. But it's not really a resolution. I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's great. Merwin, you have something you want to add about 2023?
Are these like official, like crystal ball sorts of predictions, or are these
we're
like
gonna,
kind of like
we're going to get to the predictions
we'll get to
later.
those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are things that you're looking forward to
So
in this next year.
I swear this is not something that I have the power or the ability to do. But
Could you say that like He-Man?
That's not the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
but like so on my birthday, Midori is actually going to be here, and
Oh.
that's a violinist who I grown up admiring, and
You've had some great
Queen
birthdays. I was
Latifah
just
came.
thinking that. Yeah,
Queen Latifah
yeah.
came on my birthday.
Wait, so what day is your birthday?
February 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That's just that will feel pretty special.
Merwin looking forward to his birthday. Okay. Natalie, what have you got?
In 2023, I am looking forward to our 80th season.
Oh, yeah.
So we should have some really great artists coming in next season.
I guess we should start planning that, huh?
I was going to say, we all look pretty good for 80. Well, maybe you do. All right, I'll bring down the music now. I have lots more music where that came from.
Merwin, have you worked with Midori before?
I've never had the chance to work with her. We've been doing some planning, and there's some exciting news that is kind of coming up in that 80th season.
Yeah.
But it's
Foreshadowing.
exciting good news. Different type of foreshadowing.
Yes.
But like I think to actually share the stage with her, no, this will be a first time.
Yeah. I remember seeing Midori when she was still, very, very young, first starting out. I think it was the 1980s, and I saw her at Tanglewood. And it's amazing that she's had such longevity in her career. Yeah. Has she been here before? Or?
She has, I think, twice.
Yeah.
She played a recital here.
I think once with the symphony and once on the
yeah.
Peristyle series. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there are two photographs of her on the wall. That's how I can tell. Maybe they're from the same visit.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great one. And of course, at the end of the year, there's this tiny little piece of chamber music that we end the season with, the Third Symphony of Mahler.
Yes. Oh, Mahler Bell. I almost forgot.
I noticed.
Yeah, I'm going to give you your own personal, Mahler bell that you can
I
just
think that's
ring.
what that is, right?
Yeah, except it won't
Oh,
be
you
the
want me to
same.
be able to- yeah.
I'll give you a real bell, and you can just ring it.
Just wait until we do the Sixth Symphony, and then that will
Yeah.
come in handy.
Yeah.
We've
said it
Mahler
several-
jokes.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, but that is a very special piece for me, and I just can't wait to see it at the TSO. It's the first Mahler symphony I ever heard with the Toledo Symphony in the mid-'90s, and I saw it when we first came back to town in 2000s, and then we get to do it again.
Yeah. Well, as we know, you are a big fan of the big M, so to speak. Let's talk about what you're doing on New Year's Eve, because we're still in Twixmas. We're right between, today is just a few days before the end of the year. I'm wondering if you guys are doing anything special. I know, Merwin, last year you played a wedding, right? On New Year's Eve.
And I was invited to do one again, but I will actually be in California with
okay.
family. So unfortunately, an other lucky couple will neither be blessed nor cursed, depending on how well I do.
I was going to say, how did that other wedding turn out from last year?
We don't keep tabs. That would be, it would be an interesting market research thing to to be able to claim,
Exactly how much harmony did you add to that relationship?
But wouldn't it be great to be able to advertise, Toledo Symphony sponsored weddings last X% longer?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
more likely to
Yeah, I was going to say.
that would be pretty interesting.
What's your favorite piece to play at a wedding, Merwin?
Oh,
Because I'm sure there are a couple that you kind of roll your eyes at,
Pachelbel's Canon.
so I actually
Endless Love.
I actually really like playing Pachelbel's Canon, mostly because there's so many stories that I have that involve that as the soundtrack. And yes, that is exactly the sound that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But I love playing Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Oh yeah,
That's a beautiful song, and I love that. That's a favorite to play.
What would you say? And I'll ask you this now, but you don't have to answer it now. We'll answer it towards the end because we're each going to give a message to our listeners. But the theme song for this past year, right?
Oh,
so think about that, and we'll get back to it later. But your theme song for 2022.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
Zach, what are you doing for New Year's Eve?
It's funny. A year ago, we were flying back from visiting my in-laws in Oregon, and we did the red eye, and then we went shopping, and then we threw a party that night. I just remember thinking, how idiotic are we? So this year, we're taking some good advice from ourselves, and we're just going to have a quiet night. Girls are getting a little older, so we're going to see if they can make it to midnight. I just remember growing up, we used to go out in the front yard and bang pots and pans and spoons together at midnight and probably drive our neighbors crazy. But we might be doing something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be good. I did get a copy of Guy Lombardo's Old Lang Syne to play on the Victrola. I thought that would be appropriate for New Year's.
Well, I don't have that prepared, but I do have various versions of Old Lang Syne, which we'll use throughout the performance today, throughout the podcast today. Natalie, you have any special plans for New Year's Eve?
I usually try to see a live group on New Year's Eve. This year I am going to
the nuns in the car, in the van, Catechism of Nuns, Cataclysm.
Not this year. I am going to the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor to see a few funk rock fusion groups. They're called Chirp and Act Casual, and they are full of some really talented members. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Shout out to the Fat Pig and
the Blind
the Blind Pig.
The Blind Pig. That's an iconic venue. I mean, at one point it went up for sale.
What did they say?
You called it the Fat Pig.
That was completely...
Oh, my goodness.
That was completely
You were turning bright red right now.
Kimberly and I were thinking about liquidating our retirement savings to buy the Blind Pig. We were like it's for sale.
It's on sale.
It was
on sale.
It's no longer on sale.
Yeah.
I'll be doing a lot of liquidating on New Year's Eve. Totally. Yeah.
So what is the collective noun for funk bands?
Yeah, I think it's funk bands, right?
Funky Junkie?
A junkie of funk bands.
Let me see. A junkie of what?
Funk bands.
Oh,
Junkies in a funk band?
That's not what I...
Well, I'm glad nobody's listening.
Okay. Moving on. It's our New Year's party. The only thing we're missing for this party is liquidation, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll...
Bubbles.
This is why Natalie and I pre-gamed this episode.
I'm feeling notably behind you guys. Yeah.
So we've talked about all this stuff. Let's talk about resolutions. And I asked you to play a little game called Two Resolutions and a Lie, where you come up with two resolutions that you plan to follow and one that you do not plan to follow. And then we all choose which is the lie, right? And I have Merwin's right here, so we'll start with Merwin. Let me get to...
Wait, you prepared these? Like in advance?
We did our homework, Zach.
Well, Merwin, do you want to read them, or do you want me to read them? Okay, you go ahead.
Sure, I'll read them.
Okay.
So, these are my 3 resolutions, only 2 of which are true. I will always have a pencil on my music stand. I will reduce my consumption of Coca-Cola products. I will spend less of my free time on a game involving a team of Marvel superheroes.
Okay. Anybody have a guess as to which one is false? What are they again?
So, very quickly, free time on a game involving superheroes, having a pencil on a music stand, reducing my consumption of Coca-Cola products.
Okay. Well, I remember which one is fake because you emailed it to me. So, Zach, which do you think
Coke
is
products.
Coke products? Do you agree with that, Natalie?
Yeah, I don't
think I've ever
Merwin
seen you drink
drinks
Coke.
Yeah.
I drink Coke all the time.
No.
It's my favorite
Seriously?
thing. Yes.
No, you drink the bubbly water, don't you?
Well, yes, that's my attempt.
Which she calls Coke.
Oh, that's
Yes.
a substitution for
That
that.
that is a substitution when I'm attempting to. But
Okay.
that is actually the lie. I'm not going to reduce it. I love it too much.
Wow.
You guys were
We got it right for the wrong reason.
you got it right for the wrong reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I've
Okay.
actually been reducing it more than I thought.
Yeah. No, because I see you drink decaffeinated coffee, which never makes sense to me. It's like warm brown water.
Yeah.
And then apparently a lot of Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which has caffeine in it. we
It
should
does.
mention.
Yeah.
It does.
Unless
So
you
you-
get the decaf
No.
version. Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't taste the same.
I am the same way, only with coffee. So, yeah, I get that. Natalie, do you have any resolutions you want to offer up? And maybe a phony one?
Yeah, sure.
A euphonium?
A euphonium?
Euphonium, yes.
Named Filbert, or whatever it is. Phil?
Filbert. Leave
Filbert.
hazelnuts out of this.
I've been playing
Flip was
Animal,
the name.
Animal Crossing too much. Okay. Natalie, go ahead.
For my New Year's resolutions, I have a few. Be on my phone less, give up high heels, and also come to terms with the fact that John Mayer is in his 40s.
Who's John Mayer?
Oh.
I always thought it was
that
John Mayer. Is it John Mayer?
It's
No,
John
John
Mayer.
Oh, okay.
John Mayer.
Yeah, well, hosts do make mistakes also, right? So one of those,
I'm going to think the high heels.
High heels, yeah.
High heels.
High heels.
the high heels.
You're right. I will not give those up.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
So what's the big deal about John Mayer?
So I am a very big Grateful Dead fan, and he is now playing with Dead & Company since Jerry Garcia is no longer with us.
Right.
So he's the replacement.
Okay.
But John Mayer has some great solo albums too. His Continuum album, I think that came out in 2006. I used to listen to that when I was a wee lass. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have
It's
a
weird to be
confession to
40.
make. I was thinking of somebody else. But
The hot dog company, right? That's Oscar Mayer. Yeah.
Oscar,
Very different.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah. Zach, you have resolutions?
Yeah, I have a shorthand here, so I can't really figure out which one means
Can't
what.
read your own handwriting.
So I think that says punctuality. Punctuality. I like to be more punctual.
Yeah.
Um,
That's never going to happen. That's fake already, I can tell.
It says enlightenment. I think that means listen to more NPR, specifically
Excellent.
FM 91.
Yeah.
And then it just says green beans. I guess I want to learn
Eat
how to
or
prepare
grow. Yeah.
and enjoy green beans.
Okay, so which one is fake? I mean,
Those are very
on
challenging.
the surface, you'd think it'd be green beans because everybody listens to NPR, right?
Yeah,
And,
but that could be a fake resolution because it could be difficult for him to listen to more of it. It could be statistically impossible.
wow. Well, let's analyze this. Natalie, what do you think?
I think that it's the green beans.
You think it's the green beans?
I'm going to go with punctuality.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to say punctuality too. Which one
It's a
is it,
split
Zach?
decision here. No, so the two truths are punctuality and enlightenment. I'll come back to those. Green beans is the fake because I abhor green beans, and
Wow.
I don't care how well they're prepared. I will never enjoy them, so it's impossible.
What do you do about that green bean casserole season?
I throw it at the
You're
wall.
wrong.
I
Well-
feel like this is a challenge.
I was
rolling.
once at a restaurant. I think it was Registry Bistro, and I had good green beans, and they were perfect and they were tasty. And I actually thought about having a second order, but that is it. In more than 40 years of experimentation.
Okay, I'm trying this. I feel like I can take this challenge on.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Okay, good. Well, we'll go back to that. So, punctuality. Always want to work on that. I think that's been my New Year's resolution for 2 decades.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
It's a work in progress. I'm always late in evaluating it. I don't know.
That's okay.
And listening more NPR. I have to fix the stereo in my car so I can listen to it more.
Oh, yeah. Yes, please do. All right. So I want to check in with you, Merwin, because last year when we did the New Year's special, it was just you and Vanessa.
Okay.
So, Merwin, I want to see how your resolution from last year played out.
Oh, I should have
over
prepared
the
this
year.
part.
Yeah.
Good thing Vanessa's
Your
not
resolution was to guess less and listen more. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you successfully able to guess less and listen more?
I think I've actually been a little bit better with this. I think one of the things that I've thought of a little bit is like when I'm teaching, sometimes the temptation to avoid saying I don't know the answer right away, especially as a teacher, is a hard temptation to resist. So I've tried to, especially with my students, be more honest about, no, I might not have this answer, but I'll look for it and I will find it. And
how often does that happen?
Me not having the answer? I would say more often than I would like it to happen, but I also think that, music is an extraordinary field that that's continually coming up with unanswered questions. It's not just the one.
You always have the right answer for the quiz, though, which we're going to do in just a minute.
Was there an intentional Ives reference there?
There was.
All right,
thank you.
Okay. I don't have an Ives bell, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, it would go like this.
No, that's the John
the Cage
Cage
bell.
The Cage bell, yeah. Oh, we should have a segment of this program called the Cage Match.
Yeah, we
Just
can
have silence.
Totally.
Just
totally.
staring contest on open air.
I produced a web feature once for John Cage with interviews with all the people that worked with him and knew him, and I did a video with Merce Cunningham and all this stuff.
Wow.
And it would be even more hilarious if all those interviews were full of just total fabrications.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, but sadly they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it still exists anywhere, but I did win an ASCAP award for it, so...
They didn't know what else to give you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about... Oh, I did want to mention, because Vanessa's not here, but Elaine is not here also, and Vanessa's prediction was that Elaine's hair would get bigger over this past year.
That, I think, has happened, actually. Yeah.
So we have a winner. We have one that actually
You know what?
worked.
But she just won by a hair.
Oh.
Hang on.
That was the laugh that just died.
She died when I realized I don't have it on my soundboard. Soundboard.
You're over there in your sandbox?
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Quiet. Yes. You know, what's interesting is I went back and listened to last year's New Year's Eve special, and I was talking then about putting the soundboard on a keychain, and giving it out to
that
all
came
you.
back again, too.
Yeah.
Huh?
And then I finished it by saying that'll never happen. So
We're one step closer.
Yeah, but that was a successful resolution because I said it would never happen, and it hasn't happened
yet
so far.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're just trying not to innovate to keep a promise.
Something like that, yeah.
That's the secret of every Fortune 500 company.
Totally. Words of wisdom from President and CEO Zach Vassar. Let's talk about your predictions for 2023, right? I know, Merwin, you've put some thought into this, so why don't you tell us what you predict for this upcoming year?
So
Hang on, I got some music for you.
Ooh, is it like...
No, it's the same thing.
I was hoping for a little bit more kind of mysterious crystal ball style music. So
Yeah.
so I don't know if this will inspire my predictions as well. But that'll work. So I know that we have a upcoming chamber music concert in January, and based on the subject of that concert, I predict that neither Zach or Brad will be unable to resist making a truly groan-worthy pun during that episode.
Is this
I
the Juliet
object.
letters?
Yes, it is.
Because Zach's puns are always much better than mine. I have spoonerisms and things of that nature, but not that many puns.
That's fair. I should be a little bit more generous in my grouping of different types of humors.
Okay. Well, let's go around and get a resolution from
Sure.
each of you before we go back.
A prediction, not a
A
resolution.
prediction, yeah. What do you say, Zach? What do you predict for 2023?
I think we're going to have some wonderful sunsets and long walks on the beach.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I think it's going to be a beautiful year. I think everybody needs to flip the calendar. Every year for the last couple of years we've gotten to the end, and we have hope that January is going to bring better circumstances than we've had. And this one feels like we've gotten some good momentum. I'm thinking, post-pandemic.
Yeah.
23 feels like it's going to be the year.
Great. Natalie, what do you think? What do you predict for 2023?
Oh
Other than sequential numbers.
man. I can't see into the future. I think I wish I could. I think that in the world of music, TikTok has been this ever-growing thing where people are never heard of it, where people are discovering all of this new music, and I think that next year we're going to dig up some old tunes that are they're goodies, real big goodies. So it'd be really nice if classical music was a little bit more involved in that.
Totally. I think it will be because there are a lot of younger people who really enjoy classical music and they enjoy technology. Mm-hmm. And, with Twitter on the way out, I think TikTok, it's already
Taken
there.
over. Yeah,
it's already there. And there's a lot of classical music on TikTok.
I've been getting a lot of ballet content on my feed, and that's really nice to, something that you don't really know a lot about, to just suddenly kind of be pulled into the culture a little bit. So
yeah. That's great. Well, you make a great point. Definitely get applause for that. Yeah. I want to do our quiz before it's too late for that. And what I have is a Twixmas Movie Quote quiz. And
Could you say that 5 times fast, please?
That.
Perfect.
Wrong one.
No, that was sufficient. That was totally sufficient.
So we've done movie quotes quizzes before, and we may have even done like Christmas movies, but this is Twixmas, right? We're in between Christmas and New Year's, so we have movies that are associated with both.
I thought the Twix bar was going to be handed out.
I was told there would be Twix bars.
Yes,
Well, I was told there would be champagne, so we're both out of luck, right? So I'm going to give you a quote from a movie, and it can be either a Christmas movie or a New Year's movie. One of the movies actually stretches back to Thanksgiving and covers Christmas and New Year's, so there's your clue. All right, so, we'll start with something very, very simple. Like if I say, keep the change, you filthy animal, what do you say?
Home Alone.
Or
Home Alone.
Also Angels with Filthy Souls, which is the name on the video
but
cassette.
that was a fake movie. That didn't exist.
Yeah, correct, but that is the movie then.
Okay. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, and when I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan. Okay. Does anybody know what movie that's from? It was 1994, movie starring Tim Allen.
The Santa Claus?
The Santa Claus. Very good, yeah. I forgot to bring up our quiz music. I've been saving this. Do you recognize
Not for long enough.
Yeah.
I needed to save it a little longer.
It's Joplin Old Lang Syne?
Kind of, yeah. All right. Let's keep going here. No matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs, never feed him after midnight.
Gremlins.
Yeah, that was an easy one, too.
I make the same joke about my kids.
We took a perfectly useless psychopath and turned him into a successful executive, and during the same time, we turned an honest, hard-working man into a violently deranged would-be killer. What movie was that?
Ghostbusters?
No, but close. One of the stars of Ghostbusters also starred in this movie. 1983.
No, we're wrong on that. 83.
Yeah, it was not Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm. Harold Ramis?
No, it was not Harold Ramis. It was the surviving half of the Blues Brothers.
So Belushi.
No. Nice. Let's try again. Okay, it was a movie made in 1983 starring Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Does that give you a clue? Going, gone. The movie is Trading Places. Did anybody ever see Trading Places? No?
I think I saw it years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Clearly left an impression.
So what resolution should we make for the new year? It's to let God know that you have the guts and the will to do it alone. What movie is that from? A 1970s film starring Gene Hackman. Should I just have picked like movies that were made in the last 5 years?
At least within our lifespans would have been nice.
Wait, you were born in 72? I was, doesn't seem like that long ago.
Pass.
Yeah. The Poseidon Adventure. Did you ever see the Poseidon Adventure?
Yeah, but okay. I don't remember the quote.
Actually, 1972, was that multiple Natalie lifespans?
I know, that's where I should have been.
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right. Well, here's one from 1951, which is actually out of my lifespan, so we're all on an even playing field here. Back home, everyone said I didn't have any talent. They might be saying the same thing over here, but it sounds better in French. You got it, Zach. Come on, you can do it.
That's not right. That's the wrong year.
It's a film made in 1951 starring Gene Kelly. An American in
Paris.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Totally yours. All right, Zach is winning the quiz. Okay. Only one thing in the world could have dragged me away from the soft glow of electric sex gleaming in the window. What is that? You can say sex on the radio. Don't give me that look.
It's just a little unexpected.
Well, this is a great movie. It just had a sequel made and released streaming. This is one of the all-time great classic movies. 1983. It starred Darren McGavin and a few other people that you would recognize. You'll Shoot Your Eye Out.
No, Christmas Story?
Yes, The Christmas Story. He's talking about that lamp, that leg lamp in the window.
I have a funny story about that.
Yeah. Oh, well, please, here, let me...
have to stop
let's hear the story.
Somebody years ago bought us a leg lamp ornament for our Christmas tree, and my younger daughter, Margaret, saw it, and she came over to me and she said, "Daddy, there's something really scary on the Christmas tree." And I'm thinking, well, which one is it? And she says, "There is a leg, but just
a
one.
Disembodied leg.
And they turned it into a light."
That would have been a better quote.
Right. And then she looked at me and she said, "I don't think you can handle it."
Wow. Literally.
And since that was your response to the quiz question, I think she was right.
I think she was right.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, back to the quiz. All right. How can I eat? This silly elf song is driving me crazy. Anybody get that? This is a 1964 TV movie. How can I sleep? The elf songs are driving me crazy, and they're singing "We Are Merry Elves." Da 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 da.
Is this one of the claymation movies?
Yeah.
One of the
with Burl Ives.
Burl Ives was.
Is this A Year Without a Santa Claus?
No. Kind of close.
Is it Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
No.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes, right. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Who was the celebrity in Santa Claus? Was that Fred Astaire?
Maybe, yeah. Okay. May have been Fred Astaire. Yeah. Anyway, you see, this is my life. It always will be. Nothing else. Just us and the cameras and those wonderful people out there in the dark. Now, the rest of the quote is super famous. So.
That was the quote. I thought you were just...
I was just talking. No. That was the quote.
Sounds almost like the Truman Show. But
well, okay. The next of it, the rest of the quote is, "All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up." 1950 film.
Sunset Boulevard?
Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. There's a New Year's Eve party in that movie.
I was wondering what the connection was. I'm going through it in my head.
Okay. A tiger in a cage can never see the sun. This diva needs her stage, baby. Let's have fun.
Natalie, I didn't know you were in a movie.
I know. I was just thinking that. That's going to be my new motto. Run that past me once more. That was great.
This started as a musical, and then it was filmed for the movies. Okay, a tiger in a cage can never see the sun. This diva needs her stage, baby. Let's have fun. Right?
I love that.
Gypsy?
You're dancing? No, Gypsy is a little bit before this one.
It's a good guess, though.
The movie came out in 2005. Think La Boheme.
Oh, Moulin Rouge?
No, close.
Rent?
Yes, Rent.
Yeah.
Kimberly will kill me.
Yeah, you just confused those two.
I
Wow.
should have known.
Also,
Okay.
Moulin Rouge was not 2000. Right?
Yeah. Here's an easy one, right? And that's not the quote. That's me talking. Here's the quote. You sit on a throne of lies.
Elf. You smell like beef and cheese. You're not Santa.
Well, I've been mistaken for Santa in the past, but yeah. All
What a
right.
great movie that is. I
Yeah.
also want to go back and say that you referred to something as a classic movie from 1980, and you just made an entire generation of actors and actresses roll in their graves. Well done.
Yes. But as far as 1980s films go, it's a classic film, right? So a classic film from 1980.
Got it.
I could have said from the 1980s.
Understood.
Right.
All right. Because there are a lot of not classic films from that decade.
Yeah. But most of what I say is to be understood, not at face value, right?
You are in communications.
You have to connect the dots. Connect the dots. That's what it's about. Okay, I've got one more quote in our quiz, and this is the most difficult one. And I'm going to address it directly to Natalie here,
Oh,
okay?
no.
Hello, this is a recording. You've dialed the right number. Now hang up and don't do it again. This is a film that was made in 1960. How old were you in 1960, Natalie?
You know, the year 1960, my dad was not even born yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is anybody else here horrified by that
Yeah,
comment?
I am. I definitely threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, this is a recording. You've dialed the right number. Now hang up and don't do it again.
A 1960 movie that has a recording that answers the telephone?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that he hung up. I mean, I think that he he answered the phone. Okay, this is Frank Sinatra is doing this, okay? So that should narrow it down a little bit. I know you're a Sinatra fan when it comes to his songs. How about his movies?
Yeah.
This one was
Manchurian
remade.
Candidate.
No, close. This was remade with George Clooney in the role that Frank Sinatra made
Ocean's
famous.
11.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ocean's 11. Back in 1960, Frank
But
Sinatra.
George
and the
did
Rat
not
Pack.
use that line in the remake.
All right, so the winner of our quiz is Zach. Is the winner of our quiz? Yeah, totally. Zach, you knew all that stuff. You knew all those old movies.
Is that what it takes to win a quiz?
Yeah.
Knowing stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's a great way to end 2022 and ring in 2023 with a quiz victory for Zach Vassar. I wonder if you all...
The last of...
Yes.
the first one for this year and the last one for the next year.
Yes, exactly. Once a year. That's pretty good. Good track record.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for listening. I know this is it's a show that's sometimes silly, it's sometimes very sentimental, sometimes it's serious, but it is the best we can do to invite everybody into the world that we live in and the great personalities that we get to interact with, including those in this room. So it's a privilege, and I thank you for listening.
I'm going to steal from a concert experience that we had just a few short weeks ago. Lettucey singing Nina Simone, and it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling good.
I would drink to that.
Drink to that.
Should old acquaintance be forgot, never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot, and old lang syne?
This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony. You can download episodes as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including Apple, Google, and Spotify podcasts. Don't forget to check out all the upcoming events at the Symphony by visiting their website at ToledoSymphony.com and their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find the TSO's streaming platform online at stream.artstoledo.com. My thanks to Zach Vassar, Merwin Sue, and our special guest, Natalie Conklin. I'm Brad Cresswell. You've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab from FM 91.